Bună ziua! Mă numesc Sławomir Karaś, lucrez pentru companie Juniper Networks și scuzați-mă, voi vorbi engleză. That's all my Romanian skills. Maybe I can order Zuika as well, but not at this time specifically. I'm the engineer working in Juniper Networks for Central Eastern Europe. I work from Poland, from Warsaw, and I visit Romania quite often, which is a pleasure, a privilege as well. Today's presentation is about not only artificial intelligence, but how we can apply artificial intelligence to IT operations. And in order to apply, we need to have some solution infrastructure. So basically, I will tell you about our full stack management and monitoring and troubleshooting for campus and for branch. What is it? Just in a few words. Majority part of this presentation is not PowerPoint, luckily, because everything works in PowerPoint, but I'd like to show you also some live demo. Just to show you not how to configure things, because of course it is interesting, but rather how this AI manifests its presence. What are the benefits from this solution? There are any questions, comments? Feel free to ask live. I can try to answer. Juniper Networks is not a new company. We are not new in the market. We have quite significant presence and portfolio. Basically, what we do networking. We are experts in networking for wide area networks, for WAN networks, for LANs, so for campus and data center. Of course, we do have Wi-Fi. There is no campus without Wi-Fi. Sometimes there are some data which shouldn't be delivered to the destination, so we do security. Okay? So we build networks and we secure what we build. But also there is some idea coming behind. So our advantage is that we have multiple products and we can combine them together in many interesting ways, just to get some additional value, some additional benefit. Now, going on to details, what do I mean by full stack for campus and for branch? Basically, since we have access points, since we have switches and we have gateways, there is everything to connect user to the network in branch. But it would be nice also to manage this from the single place. Yeah? So yes, we provide management, graphical user interface, as well as API for all of these elements of infrastructure in the small scale, as well as in the for larger organizations. So this is huge benefit, because instead of switching between multiple user interfaces, we have the single one to have a look, and we are collecting the events live, coming from access point, coming from the switch, and from SD-WAN gateway. Actually, we have two SD-WAN solutions, but this will not be main topic of this presentation. But we are collecting all this data, absorbing this data. For each and every user which is connected to the network over wireless, we collect 150 data points live. Now, where is the system which absorbs all this data? This is cloud managed solution, exclusively cloud managed. So for Wi-Fi part, we have no local controllers at all. There are just access points, as simple as that. And so everything is configured from the cloud. Monitoring data telemetry is sent to the cloud. For EU users, for European Union users, we have it's done in AWS in Frankfurt. So from GDPR perspective, all the paperwork is done. There are quite detailed documents on that. But we are doing this in the cloud not because we like cloud or it's easier for us, but cloud is a tool for us to provide some additional benefits and additional artificial intelligence, for example. So let me introduce Marvis. Marvis is not a robot, as here in the picture. Marvis is AI, artificial intelligence, which works in the cloud and it feeds with data, with telemetric data which are coming from your devices. Marvis will try to help you to answer as soon as possible, as quick as possible, to some tricky questions, like for example, why this Zoom call of the important user from the company, why this Zoom call is breaking. All my infrastructure controls are, the status on devices is green, the call doesn't work. Yeah? Where do I have to look? Because sometimes problems are coming into groups. Maybe there is a meeting in the conference room. Behind the wall from paper mache, there is a kitchen. There is a nice meeting in the kitchen as well. Yeah, the microwave oven is working all the time, and Wi-Fi doesn't like it. At the same time, maybe there will be some new device connected to the network with default configuration, and it provides IP addresses completely from different room. And administrator can see just how everything slowly starts to work, because devices are getting addresses from different sides. And at the same time, maybe there is a new good TV drama on Netflix, and people started to watch in their office. Where to look for? Yeah? So we can ask Marvis, show me what users are unhappy, what users are affected, and show me what can I do. Even Marvis, the task of Marvis is also to propose some corrective actions. What are benefits? Benefits are basically two. One benefit is that there is a faster resolution of problems. So IT people can really take care about important things, not just getting calls from upset users. The other benefit is that we have less travels to remote sites to do troubleshooting, because all the data, I will show you during the demo, all the data are here in the same user interface. So basically this is what Marvis tries to do. Of course there is a lot of buzz now, a lot of noise in the industry about AI. ChatGPT, yeah, so Marvis will not respond you for existential questions. Yeah? But also Marvis is trained on the data, and you feed with data from your organization, not whatever was found on the internet. So Marvis is, let's treat this as a specialized assistant based on artificial intelligence. And we did actually, company which we acquired as Juniper did this since 10 years. This is not a buzz. It really works, and it's really well trained. We are focusing on metrics as well. So we call them service level expectations, SLE. But this tries to represent how users are happy from the service. What is the service? The service is network. We provide network, yeah, to the users. So we try to measure what affects satisfaction of the user. Whether people connected to the network at all. What was the time to connect? Was it satisfactory or not? What is the throughput? If users are talking and roaming, yeah, and there is a team call, how roaming looks like? Do we have good coverage? What's the condition of the infrastructure as well? But we are not focusing on these green numbers. Of course, it's nice when it's green, but we are focusing on those 2% where things went wrong. And we are trying to respond why. And here, I will show you in a bigger size demo, in 2 slides. Here we have broken down some reasons on the single web interface coming from wireless as well as from LAN. Yeah? Don't need to jump over different management and troubleshooting controls. Marvis may try to propose some actions, yeah, some corrective actions. What can we expect from AI? That's artificial, but intelligence. So it tries to be intelligent and take some decisions, propose some solutions. Since we monitor switch and access point, maybe there is a bad cable, so maybe you try to reconnect cable, change cable, and so on. More examples will follow soon. And there is also conversational interface. Luckily, Marvis doesn't talk, but we can write, we can chat. There is no specific syntax. You have to just type words. Sometimes it accepts typos, because we might be in a hurry or stress, and it tries also to connect, and all those things are clickable those links here are clickable, so we are navigated through the web interface because there are a lot of options, there are a lot of places to visit. So it also speeds up the resolution process. Where do this on what it works? Basically, we have portfolio of access points, a portfolio of switches as well, SD1 gateways, SRXs focused on next-generation firewall scenarios, SSRs focused on intelligent transport and measuring SLA across the path as well. The rest of the infrastructure or the rest of services, there are subscriptions in the cloud. This is for small customers as well as for bigger ones. Yes, the scale is not a problem, but sometimes there is some people may say, "Hey, Juniper, but you are doing service provider stuff, so this usually it's for bigger organizations." No, this is also really for smaller organizations. If you have few access points, not a problem. This solution may be also built gradually. So you may start from a couple of access points in the single location, and then if you are a bit happy, you can extend. The more you have from Juniper, the more you see. So you can identify more issues in the network. That's not the end of the presentation, but I'm switching now to the demo environment, as I promised. So far, everything worked. Yeah. Any questions, comments? Please.
We will implement NIST this year. And at the beginning, you said something about GDPR and we have more than 1,000 devices on 3 continents. We will have to have 2 cloud services for each continent, or we can integrate all of them to the European.
Good question. Yeah, the question was that the gentleman has like multiple devices in multiple regions across all around the world. And yes, AWS works in regions. Exactly. If you want to have all at the same interface, you have to decide which specific instance of AWS to use. Right now, I'm not aware about integration both or multiple regions, but I can check this offline. Definitely, very good question. Thank you. All right. And since this was a good question, I have something as well. Please. If size doesn't fit you, please meet us in our booth here in the big space so we can try to do something with it. Yeah. Now to the demo. Usually I am showing this demo in 2 environments. One is our office, so we are example of the company which uses our own solutions. It's also, I think, good. Sit down, it will be more convenient. Unfortunately, as you can see, demonstrating troubleshooting is very tricky in the environment when everything works. That's for this purpose. I have also artificially walls environment, which is here. And I will show most of the stuff here. However, I don't have full permissions on this side. I'd like to show you a couple of workflows. Of course, we could spend a lot of time. We could spend a lot of time on how to configure Wi-Fi, how to configure switches, SD1 on this, but basically everybody has it somehow organized. Yeah. I'd like to show you root cause analysis scenario. So how in few clicks we can get from the basic description of the problem down into specific frames, details of messages. That is one. Another thing, I want to have a few chats with Marvis to show you what it responds and what's not, for example. I want to show you how it's done integration of wireless and wired, also with switches. This is part of demo. We'll see what time allows. Definitely location is another interesting aspect because we can locate endpoints connected over Wi-Fi and over BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy. Not only that we can do some live displaying who is where on the floor plan, but also to do some analytics. And there is a separate subscription for this. We can also interact with users by means of application which is installed on the smartphone and is integrated with Mist SDK. So thanks to this, we can, for example, place position on the floor plan virtual beacon, not physically, but virtual beacon. And if I approach to the physical place, some action might be triggered on my smartphone, like popping up message, or there might be wayfinding, or just launching web page, which will redirect. So many interesting use cases also for healthcare, for retail, for cultural places like museums, and also interesting stuff. And we can locate very precisely, because in access points, apart of this radios to support Wi-Fi, there are directional Bluetooth BLE antennas. So even relatively small density, but proper design will provide very good accuracy of location. Yeah.
Maybe you can cover this. My question, you can cover in your. Can Marvis work on the data from other provider devices? Because we are seriously considering Juniper for the access point layer, but we're not a field, so we may not be throwing away our systems.
Yeah. So basically, the question was about interoperability and whether Marvis will work on data from other sources, from third parties. The response is simple. Unfortunately, no. So we can visualize third-party switches, but we can just see, we can display whatever we was in CDP or LLDP frames. That's all. So far, at the moment, no way to absorb third parties. So both universes will coexist, I would say, and will interact by means of protocol. Everything with now also going to the continuing the response. Handmade solution can be also applied, because everything what I will show you is API driven. So you can control API, you can get all this data through API as well. Sometimes even if we roll out new features, then they are first present in API and then they get some nice graphical interface. And yeah, question was also good. Fortunately, I have something different. It's empty. Then the story could be getting more interesting. Yeah? Let's leave it for the evening. Demo. There is some demo in this way. Yes. All right. In my inventory, there are a couple of access points. Also, there are some switches. There are some gateways. First, let's do some root cause analysis. We can start from many ways. Basically, what we do monitor in the traditional way is this screen. Yeah? We have divided or splitted tabs to wireless domain, wired domain, as you can see, WAN domain or SD-WAN, and so on, for location as well. What we can see is, of course, the graph which combines number of connected users and some changes from the system. And basically, as I mentioned, SLEs try to measure somehow what affects users' satisfaction from the service. These values are given in percentage or in absolute values, because someone might ask, what does it mean time to connect like accept table? This is 3 seconds, and we can change it as well. These are values which are proposed by AI somehow, yeah, but of course there is a way to customize them. But the key to success is not that everything is fine here, but here, as I mentioned, there are broken down some reasons, what contributes or what affects this specific SLE. And on the single screen, we will see details. Right now, we just overview. We will see details, reasons coming from different domains. Wi-Fi, LAN, and WAN as well. So if I will click to this, time to connect, for example, we can see those broken down. So it means that 89%, how to read this? 89% is okay. It's within the threshold. So for 11%, something went wrong. Out of this 11%, another 11% is caused by authorization, 16% DHCP, and so on. And those so-called classifiers, as you can see, are for each and every SLA, service level expectation. Sometimes, for some of them, there are additional subclassifiers which are giving us closer bit to the issue. But let's check also. This is kind of group of problems, for affecting all the users. Users from where? Actually, users from our side. But we can see also not only timeline, but more importantly, affected items. And everything in Mist, in Juniper Mist, has user context. So we can see clearly, what are the users affected by specific family of problems. Let's pick, for example, DHCP. Even DHCP is also broken down.
Where is it getting the DHCP? Is your infrastructure also acting as the DHCP box?
No, we are not DHCP server. This information I just got from access points. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we can see this because we interact. We see the negotiation. Yeah.
Right.
We see what users are sending. So who are affected users, what are affected applications, and so on. So we are a bit more closer. Now we can see who has the problem. Yeah. Later on, I will show you how to get to know even before user might notice. Yeah. Let's pick some user like this one. And now, in simple English, we have description of the issue. And this client encountered poor coverage, and this affect, of course, this affects coverage, as well as slow time connectivity violated because of slow response. Okay, that's fair enough for the first line of support to get a call, and to know what to tell to the user. But that's not enough for the specialist. We are looking for some more information. So we are in the process of root cause analysis. Now there is a button here, View Insights, and this is where true troubleshooting starts to happen. So here we can see for each and every user, like I told you, 150 data points. Statistics, of course, and events specific to this client. Events are categorized to good, neutral, so negative, but natural for the communication. User just disappeared, closed computer, whatever. And there are significantly also bad events. And for bad events, is it out? Now it's better. We have the information like very detailed information related to specific errors. Yeah? And this information might also reveal a lot of details. Since this is live demo, let me find another user who is affected by some another problems to show what I'm looking for. Not DHCP, let's put maybe authorization problem, would be more interesting. As you can see, let's get summary. Yeah, like I mentioned, the problems come in groups usually, so here's the description, view insights. Okay, yes, I was looking for this. Basically, here in the data, we can also see many additional details, which for Wi-Fi specialists will be very descriptive. So we don't have to call to the affected user, dear user, where are you? Yeah, in which room? Can you see this access point in the corner? How far are you? What are the signal strength? All those details we have here. Yeah. Since we are getting everything what is flying in wireless beacons, we transmit this telemetry to our cloud, it's there. So we don't have to call to the user even. And more importantly, if there is an attachment sign, this is another manifestation how AI works. AI took decision from the moment when the problem occurred and recorded packets. For the sake of privacy of the clients, these pre-arranged captures are for headers only. But now I can download and then analyze frames if I want. Yeah. So really, and you know very well that troubleshooting of Wi-Fi sometimes is very tricky because some problems happen in very specific situations, like in this room. If the certain number of people is exceeded, yes, that might be the problem. But at certain, or maybe at a certain period of time. So you know, here the packet capture is on the table. So Wi-Fi specialist, yeah, this will tell him everything. Also affected applications, we can see some additional telemetry regarding application. That's a new feature which is coming. I don't know it yet. And statistics from pre-connection, post-connection, regarding traffic, regarding powers, signal power, RSSI, and so on. Even some roaming history of users. So troubleshooting of roaming issues is also tricky. I think it's there. I got a very good question during before the presentation about how many of these telemetry data are volume. What is the volume? Actually, per single client, they are just matter of a few kilobytes. So not a big deal, even for the big number of users. By the way, I was a bit surprised looking that there is a new feature popped up. We did it in the cloud also by propose, not because it's easier for us, but also the cloud changes, enables adoption of DevOps philosophy, so our developers are fully agile. And if you have a look how often are rolled out new features, this is not like a release cycle of quarters, half of the year. You see, May, April, March, and so on. So this comes really quickly. It changes dramatically the way how the product, how the solution is designed, and even end users can interact with our developer. There is a special forum where some things are discussed, proposals of new features, and as you can see, there are some votings, and so on. Some of these features are eventually implemented. So also it changes dramatically the way how there is an interaction, yeah, with the end. Yeah. So, please.
Based on my experience, when you have a large relation of people, device, it doesn't matter. You might end up into a MAC address or MAC broadcast. How do you treat this scenario? Because when you have a type of storm, you know, as many devices as you have, switches, each one has a MAC address table, and this is being every 5 minutes, it depends how you set up, is being updated. It's actually just the other devices are going to be. How is it possible? Because if you switch before, did you ever miss something? Because this is affecting everything on the network.
Yeah.
Too much noise on the network, and communication will be very...
That's right. Too many clients, the performance of Wi-Fi will be worse. So the question was how we deal with the problem of too many hosts broadcasting in the same flat network. Yeah.
And yes, since you have, let's say, 10 access points, how do you follow that plan? Because you have to migrate to update on the
I would say that we have to approach to this issue from many layers, starting from proper design of network, from proper of access points, also to not interfere with each other. Started with segmentation, different SSIDs, maybe for different VLANs, just to minimize the broadcast domain. Also, there are some configurable methods, for example, to block sending broadcast. So from them, approaching to this, I would suggest from multiple layers. Now, let me go to Marvis. Yeah. Question.
I have a question. How fast the data in the cloud is shown? Let's say when the user,
That's pseudo real time. Pseudo real time. So almost they are refreshed in a matter of couple of seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. The question was how often data are refreshed. Okay, that's my last gift, which I have here with me. This. And after the presentation, please. Yeah. Let's start Marvis and ask him something. Unhappy users. Show me unhappy users, dear Marvis. Let him think. Oh, there is especially one user which is very unhappy. So we can do troubleshooting of this user. Marvis is thinking, we see the DNS error, DNS failures while trying to connect to this specific address. Okay. When? And I am navigated, as you can see. What are the insights? Yes, we have seen this. What is the scope of the impact? And so on. Yeah. So that's just one way of dealing with Marvis. I can do unhappy users. So you could see that my query in human language was translated automatically to this query. I can also, not now, but last week. Yeah. And it will show me the top violators of SLE, so most unhappy users, yeah, from the service. So, unfortunately, I switched to my domain, so hence that's name of the colleague. Yeah, that's even in our office there are unhappy users. Okay. Yes, I will try to show you. Yeah, in the next part. Or I am in hurry, yeah, I am stressed right now presenting. It's not easy to act probes with Teams. Problems with Teams. Oh, there are two applications identified which are named Teams. Okay. In this site, which is called Live Demo. Okay. There are some users identified, not happy from the Teams. Let's pick some services. We have the full path. And there are some also issues represented. On this access point there is a low power, so we should take care about it. But on the other hand, on switch, what happened on the switch? There is some problem and a latency between a couple of interfaces. So yeah, Marvis will show also this type of things and then navigating nothing.
Did you select the context before you asked the question? Because I'm just trying to imagine it's a large organization just unhappy
you can be. The question was, did I select the context? So from where Marvis knows where to apply query. It's good to be more specific. However, as it's been shown in this example, Marvis asked me first. That was general, but he identified, it's AI, yeah? That live demo site has some issues. Yeah? If there will be same issues or similar issues or application detected in other sites, then I will be asked for Marvis which specific site you want to check. Also in Marvis we can see actions, as I mentioned. Yeah? So we might identify bad cable. Yeah? Between which devices. Yeah? For connectivity issues, DHCP failures. What kind of failures? Wrong DHCP servers, some VLAN, and how many clients affected, and so on. So all those are corrective actions which Marvis tries to suggest. Or if I know the user who is complaining, I can do some troubleshoot. I know that client is called denied. You can see there is no specific syntax. Yeah? I just type something which is similar to troubleshoot and it tries to interpret. Authorization. Even there are some recommendations. For user denial, check password, check rate to server relationship and maybe certificate is expired. So Marvis tries to help. So Marvis is not a tool for the expert, I would say. But this is tool for the first line of support. It may speed up. I know the specialists, for example, experts who are not looking into Marvis at all. Yeah, but definitely definitely it helps. And this AI works anyway in the background. Next thing to show, how is the integration done between wired and wireless? There was a question, yeah, from here from gentleman. Let's have a look. So it can display that, for example, this will display to this specific gateway there is a connected switch, and to this specific switch we have connected wired endpoints as well as access point, so another switch, and in the kitchen we have user connected in the kitchen. Yes, it is the none who is struggling as well. Going to the switch, you can see, if it will be if you don't have Juniper switch, that will be all. Yeah? You will see just on this diagram your switch. But in case of Juniper switches, you can monitor also condition of the switch and check what's the status, including role, port, row and status port from the spanning tree. What are connected endpoints on specific switch. You might configure the switch as well, but also you can go to switch insights, and then there are statistics. There are operational statistics from the switch. You go from today, from last 7 days. Okay. As you can see, there are some traces of events. There was some port flapping, operational stats, and so on, including users or endpoints which are connected. And similarly, for each and every user, wired user, we have also statistics, events, and so on. This is really comprehensive system. This single pane of glass here to manage either campus or just a single branch. I should pay now more attention to the time, but let's have a look in location aspects. By the way, the one thing which came into my mind. What is the retention period in the cloud? Usually, depending on the feature, for most of the data there are 7 days, for some of them 30 days, you can see some data. So the question might be, what if I need more? There are two ways. One way is we can still export data from the cloud by means of webhooks API. We can export data traditionally from devices like gateways and switches. So there is no by means of SNMP, syslog, whatever. But there is also specific subscription, which is called Premium Analytics. And then, if we pay, then we have our account extended. And Premium Analytics also gives the engine to provide additional statistics, reports, in different aspects, some trends, and so on. All right. Now let's go to the location. Let me show this on my demo in my office. Let's have a look who is in the Polish office in Juniper. Oh, we have even some colleagues, not a colleague, the printer, yeah. But there are some colleagues of computers. Yeah. Okay, there are some colleagues. So what I can locate actually, I can locate clients of connected to traditional Wi-Fi. I can locate endpoints by means of BLE, quite precisely because of this directional matrix of antennas for BLE. I can locate also clients of applications which are integrated with MIST SDK. We don't provide such applications, but we provide SDK. And when this is integrated, we can do some interesting things. Of course, we can have some location analytics, how the users are moving between zones. We can design some zones on the floor plan. Yeah. Then we can display in Premium Analytics, for example. Let me just find the engagement. Yeah. Who are the most often visitors, for example? The trends, the most hot zones in terms of popularity, or how endpoints are moving between zones. What are the workflows? Might be good use cases, I know, in retail and so on. So that's one use case of location. Also, thanks to the virtual beacons, there is a way to place on the floor plan virtually this beacon and trigger some action. Like message here is welcome to Juniper phone. It will show up on the application. But also there are other ways of interacting. Question? Yes, we can configure switches, we can configure SD1 gateways, SRXs and SSRs for SD1 scenarios, and of course access points. I completely didn't cover this configuration aspect, so if anybody is interested, please join, please meet us on our booth. I can continue whatever thing will be interesting to you. Another important announcement, if someone will have, I know all we can be busy this afternoon, but I think at 6 o'clock what will start, so-called Mobility Field Day. There is an online event, and actually we will announce some new interesting feature which is coming. I can tell because already, hopefully the company will survive. Yeah, this will be NAC in the cloud as well, so controller of NAC. Because so far we didn't have, so we'll be launching this as well. Question?
Yes. If you can, just wanted the licensing about Marvis. There is a subscription for
yes, exactly.
some functionalities, or
the question was about licensing model. Basically, what is needed? Infrastructure. There are always three components needed. Physical box, subscription. This is time-based subscription. 1, 3, 5 years by default. So there is a separate subscription for Marvis as well, for virtual network assistant. The third component is of course support. There are different packaging, a lot of ordering guide is many pages, but so someone could write thesis on how to write a solution.
For example, based on type of devices or number of devices.
Yes, exactly. There are some promotions from time to time, but generally, one important remark: there is no hard stop. When subscription expires, everything works. I mean, there will be nice icon with lock on web interface, so some section of web interfaces might be not available. However, network works as configured. So that's also, and there are some grace periods.
Just a follow-up on your NAC, the NAC which you are planning to launch, is it a full-featured NAC which will be
basically, yes.
interoperability with?
It will address also third-party devices, but more details are, if you want to watch it live, it's this afternoon. MFD Mobility Field Day 9, just Google this. I forgot the link, but I think maybe. Thank you. Of course, all the archives of Mobility Field Days are later on available on YouTube. Yeah, question?
Does it offer any insights on incorrect
tries to. One of actions. Let me find here. APs. Coverage hole. Oh, that's not this right side. APs like here, coverage hole. And there is some. Tries to. It's a valid remark. Yeah. Sorry about this. Once again, Marvis actions and then coverage hole. Yeah. So just one, but it doesn't release us from the obligation of proper site survey, pre-host, and so on. All the best practices, Wi-Fi best practices should be applied still. AI will not do everything for us. Yeah? Luckily. Yeah. Yes. Luckily. So that's a part of a suggestion. Yeah. Of course, all the feedback and so on. Just please join us at our booth and we can show you more. And I think we are done. Yeah. Mulțumesc. Thank you.